congratulations. So you got a meeting with a TV network. That means that you know how the networks work. That means that you have thought about your idea, you wrote it down, you rewrote it, you researched it, and you have something to show. And somehow, some way, you got a meeting. Great. Now, what do you do now? You're at this meeting, you're going to be sitting there with an executive or many of them. Who knows? But one thing you must do is be yourself at all times. Do not put on an act. These are human beings that are going to be sitting there in the meeting with you. They can see right through you. Do not try to act like you're someone that you're not. Don't make yourself to be something you are not, because it will show. And this, it doesn't matter how great your idea is. You are actually, at this point, you're selling yourself. If they don't like you, most likely they're not going to buy your idea. It could be a great idea, but there, like I said, there's a million ideas out there. So what makes them buy an idea is that the person selling the idea is reliable. He seems trustworthy, because this gives your idea validity. If you don't do this, and if you just go out there and you're erratic and you don't have a plan, then it's going to show. And it's going to seem like you're the kind of person that can't really be trusted with a television show. And if your thoughts are all over the place, that means that you haven't really thought about your idea. What you need to do is remain calm, be yourself. It's okay to be nervous, but you're also a professional, and you need to somehow find the strength to go through with the presentation as dynamic as possible. Because television is an industry that requires people with strong characters. A lot of people that don't have the character to be in the television industry end up really hating their lives. Why? Because you need to be strong. It's full of A personalities everywhere. A lot of executives are personalities that are very strong. They did not get there by being weak and being pushovers. They got there because they pushed their way around to get to that position. So you need to understand that when you go into that room, you're going into people that are seasoned at this. You're going to meet people that have seen hundreds of people before with other ideas. So you need to keep that in mind, that they can see through you the first minute that you're there. So the best advice that I can give you is to be yourself. Show them that they can believe in your idea, because you are a trustworthy person, that you are someone that is reliable. One thing, make sure you're there on time. This shows them that you respect their time. Also, when you're there, keep the chatter to a minimum. Stick to the point. Sometimes meetings can go into many directions. They can ask you a question that has nothing to do with your idea, and you might end up talking the whole meeting about something that does not help you sell your idea. They ask you, hey, how about, the Giants? Well, say, hey, I like the Giants, or I don't watch baseball, whatever your answer is, and then try to keep the conversation towards your idea. Why? Because I've been in meetings where you sit there, you talk about everything in the world except your idea, and at the end, they get pulled to another meeting, or you just don't have enough time to properly pitch your idea. So one thing is that you need to control the room. You need to measure how much time you have, and you need to stick to the point. And you can do this while being personable. You just need to make sure that you're always leading the conversation, and you're leading it back to the idea that you're trying to sell. Another thing is, less is more. I always say that less is more. Keep that in mind, because the more you say, the more room for confusion you can create. You can get to a point that you might dig yourself a hole that you can't get out of. Just stick to your points. Stick to your idea. If it's a great idea, they will see it. And if you have something to show, like I told you should have, you need to let that speak for itself. Don't tell them about how you didn't have money to make it, or how there are some mistakes there that you still need fixing. Just let it speak for itself. They'll be able to see all of that, and they'll understand what you're working with and what your capabilities are. But do not try to make excuses for things that you should have prepared before you got there. So just let your work speak for itself. It's the best thing you can do, is just be yourself and let your work speak for itself. And if you really have a great idea, the meeting is going to go great. One last thing, end the meeting at the right time. Don't sit there waiting for something to happen. They will not give you $1 million right then and there. It's not happening at that point. So what you need to do after you have successfully pitched your idea is that you need to ask if they have any questions. If they do, answer the questions briefly. If they don't have any questions, then you need to just thank them for their time and end the meeting. This shows that you are prepared, that you know exactly what you came for, and it allows them to leave with an impression of you that you're not the type of person that's there to waste their time. This may come in handy next time you're trying to set up a meeting. If they think you're someone that just goes in there and wastes their time and you talk about things that are irrelevant, you're probably not going to meet with them. But if you're someone that's about your business and you go there and you concisely are able to project an idea and then you get out of there, that's someone that's easy to have a meeting with. So make sure you're that person. So to recap, make sure you're on time to the meeting. Make sure that you're yourself during the meeting. Make sure that you let your work speak for itself without any excuses. And lastly, make sure you end the meeting at the right time. Do not drag it along. Just end it, go home, and cross your fingers.